Yeah, so like I said, it was just a chance meeting, and we happened to have our men's team up in what's the town up there? Anyway, a little bit north, doing a retreat, and decided just on a whim too, just go down to the fair.
Okay.
Really to see more like the trucks and stuff, but it was all sold out, so we're just
I got to see
wandering
the
around.
trucks. That was fun.
And then so I kind of founded that team along with another guy who was not able to walk around. So I went back and got a wheelchair for him, and so we wheeled up because he was with me then. So I said, well, I've seen that guy before. Let's stop and see what it's about. And I asked you what you do, and he told me. So I was like, okay, well, here, put something together. Now I'm thinking it's going to be this little ditty, something funny. And so, and then, I came around a couple times and asked you, and you're like, well, I haven't started it yet. And then it was like, okay, let me do it, because we were leaving. So you probably did it in 10, 15 minutes, because I did one more walk around, came back. And fortunately, I took my phone out, and I took a couple pictures of you. And because I just want to show the men, who did it. And then you stood up, you went, I got it, right? And read it to me, and I got it on film. So that's what we went back to the retreat. I didn't tell them anything until we got back there, and we were doing a meeting that night. And I said, I got something for you, Matt, and played that video. We put it on the TV.
Oh.
And everybody was just like, oh my God, what did you tell him? And I said, it was just a little bit about what we do, but you hit every theme that we talk about. And so we played it again because they were just flabbergasted by the whole thing. And then I passed around the piece you had typed so they could all read it too. And one of the things that struck me was you hit all the themes, and it was just a beautiful poem. But you had said to me, I'm a little bit dyslexic, and so maybe some of the things aren't exactly right. So that's what I loved, was I had it on video.
Right.
Because if you had just read it, they would have said, okay, here's some mistakes, and it's done on this old typewriter. It's but afterwards I was like, there's a part of the imperfections in the dyslexia or whatever your mistakes were, or just typing on an old typewriter, that's beautiful about it, because we all deal with our own imperfections, right? So it's part of the poem is the way it's written too, and just off the cuff. Yeah, it was remarkable.
Oh, cool.
So we talked about it a lot, So that's what I wanted to give to you. Sorry, I get emotional.
Oh.
Well, I did. When you read it, I was so shocked. I remember asking your name, and I was I couldn't even remember, because I was just kind of shaking. I was like, oh my God. That's when we go on these retreats, and we just had a meeting last night talking about it. It's things happen. Our life gets better. We support each other. And you felt like you were part of that brotherhood.
Yeah.
So, well, I'll give you that. No.
Thanks.
So this is it.
Okay. Oh, here it is.
So what I did was I wanted to make it, like an old document, like it was old wisdom, and burnt, under fire. We talk a lot about, learning through the fire and things. So
this is something that my parents would have hanging on their wall in the house when I grew up.
Exactly.
So
I've made one for every single man on the team. I drive down.
Footprints in the Sand. Do you remember that one?
Yep.
About being carried by Christ.
Yeah.
It was on something like this when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
This is beautiful. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
To get it back is so cool too, because I give them away, and they don't always come back.
Right. You don't have a copy.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think you were right about because I'm just doing it off my intuition,
Right.
And I said that to my mom. I'm like, I've been doing these typewriter experiences where I just go out and type for people, and it's almost like it's psychic,
Yeah.
And she said, no, that's the Holy Spirit. She said, that's something's moving through you, And
Well,
so, because I never really
the
felt
word I
myself.
used, I told the men, I said, I only talked to you for a couple of minutes, but it was like he channeled me. He just got, and I could go through there and hit all the themes we talk about.
Yeah.
Because there's a piece about children,
Uh-huh.
which I like. Well, how would you know that? Part
Maybe,
of our
would you do it? And-
code of honor is be an example to children.
Mm-hmm.
You know. Where do you have it? This one.
Or just
We are the wheels and cogs, stallions for our colts. We stand up for the cause.
Oh yeah.
So-
Would you go through and tell me where the parts that were important? Maybe.
Sure. So let me read it, and then
Yeah.
I'll stop and, as I think of
Okay.
it. Let us make a stronger cord to bind us all together. So, the name of our team is Nuts and Bolts, and that is our theme of keeping men connected. Connected to the men's weekend, which we're all part of at some point. That we all take different ones, but there's a weekend that we do. So let us make a stronger cord to bind us all together in your presence, Lord, like birds of a feather. We are stronger in a flock. It's steel that sharpens steel. Of course, we say that all the time,
Mhm.
And we are the building blocks. We open up and feel. And so much of that, of our retreat, is to get away. And there's a part about, we always lead with confidentiality. We have a phrase we read for confidentiality, but it's to give men a safe space, right? We don't have enough place in our society to just be and feel who we want to be without having society kind of look at us funny or use it against us, right?
Yeah.
So we open up and feel. We are the wheels and cogs, stallions for our colts. We stand up for the cause. We are the nuts and bolts.
Woo!
I love that.
And that
Yeah.
was about the children, right? You said that?
Yeah,
Right?
our colts,
Uh-huh.
We are the nuts and bolts that hold it all together as we fall apart and support each other. Every man must lean upon a strong companion and grow his garden and understand in understanding. That's exactly it. We know we're flawed. We're always fighting it. I won't repeat the phrase, but we're just jerks, is what we tell ourselves, right? It's like, we can be confident and strong and all that, but in the end, we know we're just, we're trying to overcome ourselves, all our bad habits. We are the shadow workers and bring it into light and focus on our weaknesses. That's where we become knights. Every man does fall down, and we must get up, wake up with purpose, and fill our empty cups. So I just had a call just before I came with a man. We worked through what commitments and addictions are about, and that you're either being controlled by one or the other. And so that, having a purpose, we have a technology we call CPRs, context, purpose, results, is a way of getting engaged in something. So you come up with what is your purpose and what results you want to achieve, and the context is what's the overarching theme for that. So you can, and I've developed my own life CPR to have that. But living a life with purpose is, otherwise we're just floundering around and becoming, we call it lazy loiterers, just not doing anything. We are taught to bottle up, but we are uncorking. And I love that word, uncorking. I could just picture. Empowering the saddling up and ride our wild horses. We are the nuts and bolts that build a new tomorrow by embracing each day and addressing our sorrows.
Oh.
It just gives me goosebumps. I just go, geez, it's exactly, but it's, we can say that all in prose, but you said it in a poem. It's so much more powerful. Yeah. So I now call you the teen poet. I told men I'm going to meet with the teen poet. Yeah.
I've never been with a men's group, but I have friends, and when you wrote me, you must have some idea of what we're doing.
Yeah.
Personal development's important to me, and I've studied different things and tried different things and overcome my own, problems and stuff. So, addictions and and lack of purpose, and yeah, Japanese have a word for getting up in the morning. Do you know that one? Ikigai.
No.
They say if you have a strong Ikigai, you live a long life. And it's the reason you get out of bed in the morning. I'm surprised I didn't even put that in there.
I know,
Usually.
Kaizen, right? It's constant, never-ending improvement. But yeah, it's all about, each man, we call it being the man you've always wanted to be. Which most of us don't know, right? I didn't until I kind of grew into it, and then go, well, this is the man I want to be. Well, I need a team of men, or a community to help me get there, because it's we don't see our own blind spots. There's always something to improve on.
That's it. You don't see your own blind spots, and I'm realizing now that like my potential I would be potentiated by having like a management, somebody that's kind of holding me accountable, and also just calling, and being like, you're supposed to be doing this.
This is exactly what we do for each other. We hold each other accountable, and we want that, right? It's like, please do that. Sometimes it's rough. It's like, you said you were going to do this, or so it's not about making men wrong. It's just, you want to get better.
Yeah, my sister,
follow your disciplines.
My
do your thing.
She's a sponsor for many women in AA. So
okay, a lot of the men have that. I don't, but
I didn't either. I didn't really gravitate towards it, but I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Wow, it's a beautiful thing that you guys do. I'm so honored to have been able to, and so that it came so quickly is so cool.
Well, I thought it was funny because I was like. After I did it, they're like, well, what's his name? And I'm like, oh, geez, I forgot already. And
that was not important, right?
And then it became like, some of the men were like, well, we want to talk to him, we want to see what he's about, I said, oh, geez, I got to find him, So I stuck that thing on. I was like, where do I find that? And I found this, what is it, Nevada County Peeps little group.
Right,
I was like, I have no idea who they are. Put it on there, and there's like 120 likes now. I'm like, oh, everybody knows this guy.
Yeah.
So,
but that place too can be, I know that particular site to be like where people fight.
Oh, is that right?
And they're always putting people down, like, you stick an opinion on there and it'll just get torn to pieces. Okay. So like, I was just waiting for somebody, I know that guy, he's the son of, or whatever, but actually it was really sweet.
He owes me money.
Something. I've been here in 15 years. There's a few people that don't like me. But like, it was such a sweet response, people were just like, oh yeah, it's nice to see that he's doing good and doing something nice. And so I felt honored and privileged to even be sought after, to be, rewarded with such a cool gift as well.